Good evening. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Taiwo. If this is your first time, and if you're just visiting, you're welcomed. Happy Sunday. I have a few things to share today from my Bible reading. It's about the story of Ruth. But before I go deep into it, I just want to explain what's my what I've received from the reading. Remember, if you've watched some of my videos, I made the video on goals, how it is important to set our goals and work on our goals. Yes, this message is about setting your goals and planning and working on it. It's important to set goals, but if you don't plan to work on it, they will just be mere wishes if you don't do them. If you think about them, you don't set them as goals, they're mere wishes. If you set them as goals and you don't work on them as well, there is no way they will come to pass. They will not, they will not manifest. No magic about it. So, faith and action works together, in short. So this story is about Ruth. It's about the story of, it started when Naomi and her husband moved from their country in Bethlehem and went to Moab because there was famine in the land. And they went to live in Moab because I think that land was fertile and there was food there, and they lived there and had two sons, and two sons grew up and they got married to two women, Orpah and Ruth. And that's when we began to learn about Ruth and her life. So it happened, that unfortunately the Elimelech, who was Naomi's husband, died, and then later her two sons died as well. And then she was left with the wives of the son, Orpah and Ruth. And so when her two sons had died, she said she was going back to her people. And there was news that their lands begin to flourish. So she said she was going to back. She told the two ladies, the two daughter-in-laws, that she was going back to her country, and they should go back to their mothers because their husbands, who are their sons, has died, and she can't give them any more husband. So they followed her, and later she decided that they have to go back. So Orpah wept and went back, but Ruth decided to follow her, and that was how the story of Ruth began. She followed Naomi to her country and settled down there with her, and they all knew. She was very observant. She learned about a certain kind man who was rich and wealthy and influential, and was a part of the husband's family. And she told Ruth told Naomi that she would like to go and glean in the fields. So she asked Naomi if she could go into the fields and glean around where Boaz was the name of this wealthy, influential guy, the man, and he was a family of the husband. So she gleaned around the field. She gleaned and gleaned, and she got to where the field of Boaz was, and that was when Boaz noticed her and told his workers that this woman that is gleaning, who is she? And they explained that she was the lady that came home with Naomi when Naomi lost her sons. They explained who she was, and Boaz was compassionate. He said, allow her to glean after the women, leave some sheep for her, and don't let her go to any other field to glean, so that she's safe. And that was how Boaz took notice of her and allowed her to glean. And then from there he called on to her and started to speak to her kindly, and that was how they ended up getting married. I can read a few of the verses. In chapter 2, it says, there was a relative of Naomi's husband, a man of great wealth, of the family of Elimelech. His name was Boaz. So Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, please let me go to the field and glean heads of grain after him, in whose sight I may find favor. And she said to her, go, my daughter. Then she left and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come to the part of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the family of Elimelech. Now, behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said to the reapers, the Lord be with you. And they answered him, the Lord bless you. Then Boaz said to his servants, who is in charge of the reapers? Whose young woman is this? So the servants who was in charge of the reapers answered and said, it is the young Moabite woman who came back with Naomi from the country of Moab. And she said, please let me glean and gather after the reapers amongst the sheaves. So she came and has continued from morning until now, though she rested a little in the house. Then Boaz said to Ruth, you will listen, my daughter. You will do not go to glean in another field, nor go from here, but stay close to my young women. Let your eyes be on the field which they reap, and go after them. Have I not commanded the young men not to touch you? And when you are thirsty, go to the vessels and drink from what the young men have drawn. So that was how they came together, and they ended up getting married. And from the story we learned that Ruth was the grandmother of David, and David is a lineage of Jesus. So from this story, I want to emphasize the importance of backing up your goals and your plans with actions. Don't leave them in the paper and expect them to come to pass. Whatever revelation you get, begin to act on them, and then you will see it manifest. Position yourself in the right place. If it's to get a good job, or if it's to get promotion, get the training you need. Position yourself for that. If it's to buy a car, imagine the car. Go and ask about it. Make inquiries. Begin to save and to pray on it. Go around looking for the cars that you like. Go on the internet, look for the price. Start to make research and start to ask about it. And before you know it, your goals, your dreams will come to pass. That's the information I have today. Hope it has blessed someone. Thank you. Have an amazing, amazing week ahead.